Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and well, I think LEGO Minecraft is a really underrated LEGO theme. You see, a lot of people tend to not really pay too much attention to LEGO Minecraft because of its fairly blocky aesthetic, and mostly because if you don't play the Minecraft game, maybe you might tend to overlook it because simply these sets won't interest you. You see, when Minecraft came out around 2014, I personally was kind of done playing the Minecraft game. I went through a whole Minecraft phase when I was a kid, but past that, I really kind of just stopped playing the game. So when they first came out, I kind of just ignored the Minecraft lineup. All that changed back in 2020 when LEGO released a Minecraft set with a Kai minifigure. Now this was a version of Kai from Ninjago, which had actually the Minecraft styling, so of course I had to get that set. And honestly, that just opened me up to an entire world of LEGO collecting that I honestly was not even aware of. And that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, to showcase just how fun these sets are. You see, Minecraft is almost like the closest thing we get to an original LEGO action and adventure theme that is location-based. Sure, it is officially licensed with Minecraft, but 99% of the builds are just random stuff that LEGO designers throw together. Obviously, because the point of Minecraft as a game is to build your own structures, that's exactly what the LEGO designers do. Maybe once in a while we'll get a set focused on an officially generated build from one of the games, but for the most part, most of the LEGO Minecraft sets are just wacky ideas that they're trying to incorporate for different sorts of adventures, like modern bases or ninja dojos, or just sorts of different temples and buildings and palaces and large landscapes, and it truly feels like a fully original LEGO concept that just kind of has the Minecraft license added onto it. Besides that, the coolest thing about LEGO Minecraft is that all of the builds are fully modular. So not only are these sets themselves allowed to be reconfigured in different ways and actually encouraged to be rebuilt and reconfigured at the end of all the instruction manuals, but every single Minecraft set can be combined with another set. They all basically use the same base plate layout, and you actually can shift them together like forming puzzle pieces and create a massive Minecraft diorama. So personally, I am on a quest to own every single Minecraft set, and while I'm missing one or two here or there, I pretty much have most of them, which is why I figured now's a better time than ever than to actually put all of these sets together, play around with them in different layouts, showcase the different styles of play that you can get out of all these sets, and honestly just treat them like I was a kid again, really just bring them all together and just play with them, which isn't really something I've done in literally years. And so since 2020, again, I have been collecting all of the rarest and pretty much all the oldest Minecraft sets off of Bricklink and eBay and whatnot, and finally we have a large enough collection to bring them all together. Now just one note, the newest 2022 sets I actually have in a completely separate location, so unfortunately the 2022 Minecraft sets will not be featured in this video, at least for this main diorama. I'll add on a section at the end showcasing all of them fully built and actually reconfiguring them in their own diorama, but that's going to be completely separate. For this, it's basically just everything from 2021 and before. So without further ado, let's just jump right in because I'm excited to play with this diorama. Alright, so here we are with every single LEGO Minecraft set I own besides the 2022 sets. There's quite a lot here. Again, I'm only missing one or two sets here or there. This is almost the 100% complete LEGO Minecraft line from 2014 all the way up to 2021. And obviously, these are not arranged whatsoever. There's some end stuff over here, some nether stuff, a lot of overworld stuff, a lot of underwater stuff, and they're all really just kind of scattered around. So my goal is to see what I can do by taking these sets and trying to come up with a somewhat realistic configuration for them, or just kind of doing something fun and see what we can put together. So one of my major goals for this is to actually combine all of these sections of the railway into one large track. And I think I'm going to start with that because that's probably going to be the most restrictive in terms of placing bits and pieces around. I think it'll be really cool to, say at the end of the video, track the journey of a minecart from, say, the very first 2014 mine set all the way down through the nether, out of the nether, up to the mountain cave, which is the largest Minecraft set. And there's a lot of different railway bits and pieces that can be found in these sets, so I'm very excited. So I'm going to start with that. We're going to take all of the railway bits, put them over to the side, and see what we can do. So starting off here, I'm seeing the massive mountain cave. When we go to the back of the set, the railway actually continues all the way to the back, and it actually leads out here. It's currently blocked off by a wall, but that wall can be removed, and it's specifically designed to be removable, so you can actually attach this to other places. So we will do just that. I think this is going to be kind of the centerpiece of the whole diorama because it is the largest Minecraft set. And now we have a few different nether stuff here. What's really awesome is that we have a overworld to Nether railway converter, in which case you go straight through the portal and it converts to the Nether railway. So I absolutely will be using this to actually bridge the gap between these two things. And of course we have the mine as well. So this is again another large railway, which thankfully has the mine carts right on the ground, exactly in the same configuration, and they just simply go out the back there. Now these ones will be a little bit harder to integrate. I don't know if I'm going to be able to successfully put in this particular block of the Bedrock Adventures one. As you can see there, there's just literally one railway, so not really sure how I'll be able to do that. We'll figure something out maybe. And the same kind of goes for this one right here, which is kind of the follow-up to the Bedrock Adventures. Although at least for this one, the tracks actually do go along the bottom, so maybe that will be a little bit easier. Finally, we have the Creeper Mine here, which again is in the same railway system, like so. So we're going to take all of those, I don't see anything else, and try to put them together. Oh, and there seems to be one more section right there with the mine, so let's try to throw that in too. I'm going to try to focus on this area, which is kind of a wide open space. So let's take this guy here first. And I do kind of want this to be the centerpiece. So let's kind of push it over to this side here, trying to see where the railway will go out. So it seems like there's just a function to remove this entire block. And there we have a bit of exposed railway. So let's see, what can we do here? I'm going to set this aside for now. Not really sure what I'm going to do with this extra block here, but maybe we can use it to connect a few things. And let's first start off by taking some of the individual chunks. There's a few of these sets here that have individual railway chunks. I don't want to miss any, so let's start with those. First off, I am seeing a bit of a railway chunk here. This appears to be part of one of the market stalls for a little bit of a village. Again, there's a bit of an exploding feature where you can just blow up this block and open up the railway. So, let's see, how are we going to connect this? I may have to do some removal here because the blocks just are not lining up for the railway here. There just has some stuff in the way, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing because obviously, as you can see with this model, the railway just leads to nothing. So maybe I'm actually going to have to reconfigure this one. Let's see. Okay, well, let's set this aside for now. And we have another bit and piece of a railway here with the cave set. Again, this is a bit of a railway that also goes nowhere. So this is just going to be a bit of a challenge to figure out. I mean, obviously I can connect these two and this works out totally fine. The railways actually do connect that way, but then they both lead to nowhere. So we're going to have to get a little bit more creative. Okay, we'll set that aside for now. Let's see, what else do we got? So I'm going to leave the Nether to Overworld railway connector piece to the end there because I think that we still have a lot more to do in terms of the layout here. I'm going to go ahead and grab the massive mine set and see if we can somehow connect it to this because it's also a pretty tall build. Try not to break anything with this. Okay, there we go. So put these aside for now. This is the bigger mine set, and let me just make sure that all of this is currently on camera. Yes, it is. Okay, perfect. And now let's see if we can actually connect these up. It's starting to look more and more likely that I'll have to take off this section here from the actual set. Let's see if I can I remove this platform easily? Yeah, I guess. Okay, so this just came right off, which is nice. So now that kind of frees up this section. I'm gonna have to remember where all this goes. I might regret this later on. So I'm gonna end up with a lot of chunks of just random blocks that I don't know what set they go to, but hey, sacrifice it for the diorama. So let's see, will this look good if it's just attached on right here? And there are some blocks in the way. So if I can get one of these blocks and shift it over maybe a little bit. Let's see, can we configure ourselves like this? See if we can attach there. Okay, this is a good enough attachment, I guess. Yeah, so this is all fully attached. I guess it's a little bit of a weird setup because obviously this layer is not technically on the same height as this, but I guess it works out and it does provide us a continuous track. Now the question is, the problem with this track is that it kind of just wraps around and it just goes all the way back and terminates here, which would be fine, except that we don't actually have any other railway spaces to actually extend it because it's going to hit here. So let's see if we can actually reconfigure the way that this particular set is set up here. Let me see. What we really need is like a curving piece here, and that's the problem with some of the Minecraft railway stuff. They don't actually just sell tracks separately. You kind of have to figure out how to piece them together from existing sets. So railway goes out here. Is there anything I can do with that, or do I have to make it kind of go out? This is interesting. Let's see. I think it's time to take a look at some of the other railway bits and see if we can do something here. So let me go ahead and grab this set. You can't see it right now, but we've got the creeper mindset. This is another one of the railway focus sets. And let's see, can we get anything in here to actually make this connect up? So, okay. Let's see what we can do. We've got this railway here, but unfortunately this kind of just terminates. And I don't really see an easy way to make this extend outwards without literally just completely disassembling the model. So maybe this should be like a stopping point for the railway, because it seems like it kind of just stops here. And I guess that is another problem with actually combining the railways. This is a lot harder than I thought, because it's hard to get a solid through line to different sets. Let's just bring all them over and see what we can do. So this one actually might be a bit of a blessing in disguise, because obviously each of the different pieces here can come apart and separate out. And this is a perfectly serviceable curve piece. So maybe what I should do is sacrifice this part of the Nether Railway and take some of these pieces to actually create some additional connections for the rest of the railway parts there. So, only if I have to. Let's do that if we have to. Is there anything else I'm missing here with the railways? I don't think so. Let me see. Going back to our main railway here, let's kind of take a look at this whole structure right here. Again, we have this segment that is a little bit hard to get out of, so let's see what happens if we just take one of these pieces. Let me move this aside. Take one of these. Can we make this just angle outward? So I'm going to change the connection point to here. See if we can squeeze this in. And there already are some Lego pieces there that's going to make this a little bit more difficult. So what if we just remove some of these? All right. Oh, okay. Well, that works. Here we have it now bending. So now the railway just bends straight out. So we can actually go outwards here, which is very nice. Let's see what else we can do. So that actually gives us a lot more freedom. We also have a bit of a connector piece that might come in handy later on. So I'm going to set this one aside as well. Let's see. What have we got? So can we attach it? No, not there yet. It's not quite long enough. Maybe we can attach it here, then we have to do something creative with how this is set up. So, okay, this can attach right here very easily. So let me just remove one of these segments here and get this all set up. Let's go here. Come on. Get these pieces all back in. And this might require some major rebuilding. Okay, but there we have it. Now this segment is fully connected up. I had to remove this wall which was blocking the railway, so I'll just keep that right there so I don't lose it. And let's see what else have we got here. So, okay. Some random bits and pieces of blocks that I definitely am going to regret taking apart from the official sets, but now we have a few options, because this goes out this way. If it's possible to remove the action feature here. There's a bit of an action feature that allows you to blow up the tracks, which is a fun feature, but obviously we do not want to have our tracks be blown up here, and unfortunately it's actuated right here. So I don't know if we can get an easy way around this unless we may have to remove the function entirely. I don't know how I feel about completely modifying the set. So let's see, what can we do here? The track goes this way, and it kind of goes down a little bit. I guess we can sort of pretend like this is a continuation of the track, maybe, if we have to. And then now we can connect up something like this right here. Let's actually get some bricks in there to connect this up fully, or at least attach it by a couple studs, just so this is actually fully attached on. And yeah, I guess you can pretend that this is a continuation of the railway system. Obviously, this could really use a couple more pieces, but I think that generally does the trick okay-ish. It's not perfect. I think that there is probably a better way to do it, but maybe I think that's the best we got. So next up, I kind of want to integrate this section right here. So let's see, what do we have with this part? We have, interesting. This may actually come in handy. It's a part of exploding railway here. If I'm not able to actually hook up this railway, I might just lay this down right here and allow me to actually use this as a connecting point. As you can see, I'm putting this down right here, and let's see if that works. Okay, so we've got this, got that down. I guess that could kind of work. Don't really know how convinced I am with exactly how everything comes together. I'm gonna need a bit of a spacer underneath here. Let's see, can we get a flat tile piece to use here from my Lego parts bin, perhaps? Okay, so this works. This is pretty good. And now we can connect this here and have a continuous track. All right, perfect. Cool. All right, so we have connected this part, but now this mine actually goes nowhere. So let's see what we can do about that. Can I actually remove some of these modules? No, just everything here is one structure. Oh, that's a little disappointing. I would have wanted to remove some of these modules right here, because otherwise I don't necessarily know if I can do anything with the railroad tracks here. They're nice to have, but I can't really use them. That feels like a bit of a waste to me. Maybe there's a way I can just remove the plates here, but I really don't want to disassemble any set more than I need to. So let's set this aside for now, and we can just pretend it's kind of part of the diorama with some other minecarts on a similar level here. Now over here, we have another interesting structure. This is on the base, and is there anything I can do with attachment points? Or we may just have to get very creative in terms of how this in particular is attached as well. So let's see. We just need a few more tracks here that actually connect these two pieces, because otherwise the rails are lining up, as you can see. I just need a few more track pieces. I think it's time that I just steal it from this set. It feels a little bit bad literally just taking a plate out, but I honestly think that might be what we have to do. I just need to remember where I got it from. And let's see if we can just press this all the way down. So this just needs to be directly on the studs. Do I really want to completely take this apart? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. So we're going to completely disassemble one of the railway tracks right here. I am definitely going to regret this, but hey, it's gonna look cool when you have the track going through the entire thing. So I say it's worth it. And it's Lego anyway, so I can always look at the instructions and rebuild it if I need to. So, lay down some track here, lay down some track here with this, just loosely. I'm gonna purposefully make it pretty loose. And there we have it. Okay, so now this part is attached. I'm gonna put this plate back just so I know that this goes back here and I don't accidentally forget the track is supposed to go on this particular set. I don't think I'm gonna forget, so I think we'll be fine. And now I think we have to detach this part because now we need another connector. And I think that now it's time to actually introduce the nether. So I am going to take this and let's see, what can we do here? Because now this is hitting this element, so I think we might have to just, can we disassemble this easily or remove this plate easily? I don't feel happy about that. It's a little, okay, well this whole thing comes off, I guess. So now we can put this in here. Okay, well that works. A lot of effort just to introduce this one piece, but I guess it works out okay-ish. Let's kind of line this back up so that at least it kind of feels like it's in the same biome, or the same area at least. Okay, so that kind of works out. And now we have a connection to the nether here. So as you can see here, it might be a little bit difficult to see exactly how this is all set up, but I've literally got the mine track fully connected from this, to this, to this, to this, to this, and now to this. So pretty happy with how I actually was able to get that set up. And now obviously this kind of bridges us over to the nether on this area. I again stole a few segments from this particular track, so we may have to get a little creative in terms of how the railway is set up here, but I'm sure we can figure it out. I mean, nothing too complicated. So I do want to start off, let's just say this is going upwards, and let's see, this is connecting, maybe we need to rotate this here. So now this immediately goes up. This one curves around, so I'm actually going to take this brick here, have it attached such that it's curving around at a slope here, and then we can just arc this around like so. Perfect. Let's see, that kind of creates a loop actually. That makes a pretty perfect loop, so let me just take this curved piece, put it here, so now we have this perfect loop. There you go, just in case you want to go alongside there. And then we can just connect this out to other parts of the nether. Okay, perfect. So this is pretty nice because now I think all of the track sections are fairly well connected. And we have this module that we can place somewhere if we actually need to use it at some other point in the model here. I'm going to set it aside here for now because I do want to introduce all of the other nether pieces here. We've got a bit of a smaller polybag build there actually. And now let's see what else we can do with this area. So we're going to have this terminate at something important. I'm going to say it's going to terminate at one of the nether bridges here. We actually got two different Lego nether bridge sets, which are very nice to get. And we actually can try to connect these into a much more longer bridge, or maybe a larger diorama if it's impossible to connect them to a longer bridge. So again, just want to bring over all the nether stuff here and get this all fully attach to something a little bit larger. Now, I think we've gotten all the nether stuff that we have. So again, over here we've got a large sum of different bits and pieces of the nether, and there's also one more portal to connect the nether to the overworld. So that might allow us to introduce a few other play features on the other side to kind of have the nether be surrounded by 2 layers of overworld. That's just an idea. We'll see if that works out, but let's bring over all of our stuff here. So the idea that I'm having is that we had a ton of overworld stuff there, and what if we have a ton of nether stuff in the middle, and we use this portal piece here to connect the nether back to more overworld on this side, so we kind of have a longer diorama. It might not work, it might feel a little bit disjointed, but let's just see how that looks. First of all, maybe the tracks here are leading you to one of the bridges, so let's just kind of have that terminate right there. And let's see how long we can make this. I think we can really make this a cool looking long type of build. Can I attach some parts of the bridge? Because it kind of looks like the bridge is attached. Do I need to rotate it maybe the other way? Let's get the other bridge here and see how this looks. This bridge actually can do a right angle as well, so that's pretty useful in case we ever need to actually move stuff around here. Let me see. What is the best configuration for our setup here? Okay, I think we're gonna wanna, let's do something like this so we can have it stretched this way maybe. And like this, we actually can have a bit of a connection point here, so it seems like you can get up the bridge onto this part right here. And then we can connect this aspect of the nether bridge as well. It's not quite perfect. You kind of have to imagine that they're connected, but it's close enough, I would say. So we've got this area here. So now we actually have a longer bridge section that connects us over to that way. It almost kind of feels like you're going along the bridge there, I guess, if you really want to use your imagination there. And there's some more brick pieces here, so I'm just going to kind of put these all around the display. I want to really feel like this is a true large diorama come to life, so let's just kind of place these segments here and there. I may move these around if I see fit, if there's other spots that might be a little bit better for them, but for now, let's just kind of set this up here. Maybe we can put that, this feels a little out of place. Maybe I'll just put this here to kind of add some depth to the railway there. That could work, yeah. So now we have this part, which is actually part of one of the newer Minecraft updates. It is the nether, although it is a completely different area of it. So maybe if I just attach that here, this feels like a different area of nether. And then we have some of that teal piece here, so we can connect up this element right here. And there you go, we have our portal back to the overworld. Now, this obviously could work as either in the nether or in the overworld, but I feel like with the lava vibe of this dual set, it's just a cool thing to have in the nether in general, so I'm just going to attach it right there, and I think that fits in pretty well at home. Okay, so that's nether taken care of, and are we sure we are done with the section here? I think there's a little bit more that I can do with this part right here, especially because I didn't really connect up these areas. So let's just try to play around with it a little bit. I'm going to put this railway cart just kind of randomly there. And this is really the main section that I want to mess around with. So you could put that there, maybe here, but then it kind of blocks the angle of the mountain cave here. Maybe we can kind of put it on the back side here, make it feel like an extension to the mountain cave. I think that kind of works. That really kind of feels like it is part of the diorama. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that because this is some of the taller Minecraft sets, and then we can get to some of the shorter stuff once we go through the Nether Passageway. So you can kind of imagine your player starts here, you go through the Nether, and you come out somewhere completely different to find some more stuff. That's a pretty fun setup. Let's see what we can do here. So our portal here allows us to travel from the Nether back to the overworld. I don't know what we're going to do at the end yet. We have 2 different ender dragons. There is an end portal that I have, so we're going to set that aside for later. It's a surprise tool that will help us later, and I will put these away for now, and we'll figure out where to put them later on. So, moving onwards to this stuff, there's a lot of really classic Minecraft sets here. Some of my favorite things we've gotten from Minecraft. Oh, before we go, we should put in some of the mobs in the Nether as well. These ghasts just kind of sit there. They don't really have any major attachment points. So I'm just going to try to place them on high up points and make it work. Another railway piece right there. We're going to do a railway section at the end, as well as one of the nether slimes here. Let's just kind of put them in a pretty prominent location. I think it's a nice little mob to get. And a little spider as well. Okay, so this over here is more civilian stuff. We have some, let's see, moving the camera upwards a little bit so we can see the stuff over here. let's try to kind of organize these into sections. So we have some of the farmyard stuff here. I think these two absolutely belong together with the yellow roofs. We have the village set, which is one of the largest Minecraft sets, definitely works as a complete unit. I do not want to break that up. We also have a desert village set, which I feel like with enough modification could probably fit right there in the desert section of the village. We have a player-built fortress, which honestly, again, kind of fits within the village area. And then we just have a few different caves and houses here and there. I think that modern treehouse absolutely fits with the waterfall base, which also has some modern architecture. The first house here probably also kind of fits in with the city-like area. And of course, we have a few other biomes as well, because we have some of the icy stuff and then some living area with farms. So I want to make a massive player-built base that really feels like it was built by a player here. So first of all, I think what's important is that we try to separate out stuff by biome, because obviously the sand stuff should go with the other sand stuff. Got some jungle stuff here, so the jungle treehouse should absolutely go with the jungle temple, as well as leading into some of the sand stuff. So already I'm trying to picture the biome here. I think the swamp can lead into the jungle, which leads into the jungle temple. We've got a bit of sand here, which can lead into the sand biome, which leads into the sandy part of the village, which connects our village. The village connects us to the fortress, and the fortress connects us to the rest of our living spaces across here. I think that works. Let's go ahead and try it. So, okay, what are we gonna do? Let's take first, have the portal bring us to the swamp. I think that's a pretty smart idea first to kind of bridge these biomes together. So we're gonna place this right here. I think that works perfectly well. Now, moving aside here, let's now take the jungle treehouse and have the water connect here. So I wanna make the water kind of feel like it's connecting to the biome, kind of like this. Sure, I think that works. Okay. This also feels like it could be part of the swamp. It kind of feels like a treehouse to me. So if there's a way that I can make this fit, ooh, could this work? Does this fit in? Let's see. Does this barely? Oh, I think this fits. I think this is gonna be good. Let's see. Before we mess around with this here, let me just make sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Does that work? Oh, that works perfectly. Yeah, this is a perfect fit. Okay, perfect. Let's see. What else have we got? So set these aside for now. We've got the jungle temple here. Now, halfway through the video, I'm just realizing that this is, oh my goodness, this is gonna look like a jumbled mess by the time I'm done. But hey, you know what? It was fun to put these together, so I'm gonna say it was worth it. But anyways, we've got the jungle temple here. I think that's important to have in this section of the biome. And ooh, so the only problem is I wanted to use the sand here as a transition into the sandy areas of the biome. What happens if I rotate this around? Does that need, do we even still need, I guess it could work like this. Okay. I think it could work like this. Yeah, push that aside. Then I get this into here and get that into here. So put that in there, put that in here, attach it like this. I guess that kind of works. Can I move this to the side a little bit? Yeah, I can, okay. Can I move this in and then shift this all inwards? Okay, pretty happy with this layout. Let's put the jungle temple here, almost kind of make it feel like it is part of the nether here. There's like a dividing line that breaks up the nether to the overworld here going through the portal. And now we have the desert area that's wide open. Perfect, okay. Just what we were planning. Now we can take this desert outpost here, put it along the side of the jungle treehouse right here. So now this kind of is a perfect transition to the desert. Set this back here, push this back a little bit as well. Got a stray enderman. Okay, so first we're gonna take the desert village area, which is this. I wanna rotate this around to have a good transition to the desert. So let's move this whole village structure around like so. Okay, let's do that. What else have we got? This is, again, some more village desert stuff. Oh, that just came right out. So this is not actually attached. Okay, so let's see here. Put this desert building, which is one of the newer sets actually. This is one of the newer desert village style buildings, which actually is a really nice style build. I actually really do like how this one turned out. Let's see, we can put that. Is there a way that we can make this config? And we don't need to have these attached either. These can act on their own. So let me try that. First I'll grab the carrots that I lost. And some of this as well. Let's see, so desert biome. Let's see, can we configure it like this maybe? Maybe just have it attached around the center here. Have this piece sitting here. And then we can just have the setup here, bring the entire village over so that we have the whole village area that fully connects up here. Actually, this is perfect. I can make this part of the village all the way inwards to connect with the desert biome here and have this other desert building just sitting right in between them like this. Okay, so this works, I think. This is a pretty good setup. Can we do anything else to fill in the gaps? Is there any other village related thing here? I guess that we can get the Taiga Adventures, just a little $10 build here. Feels like it fits the same exact sort of biome that we're setting up here. So let's just kind of wedge that into there. Okay, so this like really just fits like a puzzle piece here. I'm gonna move this around so you can see what I'm doing, but as you can see, it really just feels like it's setting up a nice world and a puzzle piece, everything really coming together. And with that, we can now move the fortress over and actually call it part of the village. So I think the fortress should go here. I'm gonna get the house out of the way first. So just kind of put that to the side there. Move the fortress over here. Well, that works out pretty well. Pretty happy with that. And there's another kind of fortress style build with one of the more creative things. I'm just going to put that alongside here because I feel like the architectures match. Does it fit better like this? I think this works. This works. This feels like a good complex that you have. You go into here, go into there, hit up the traders on the way. And this also is a villagers styled set, which focuses on the villagers farming bees. So I do want to incorporate that here somewhere. Doesn't need to be forced if I can't actually put it in, but I think this is a nice place for it. Feels like that fits fairly well. Okay, any other villager focused stuff? I know there's probably a few more. There's a set that I'm missing from the village lineup. It's a small $10 set, the melon farm, but I think everything else here is pretty good. Let's see. Okay, so now of course we have the villagers. We should introduce the pillagers as well. I want to get over some of the pillager items because those make sense to spawn to attack a village. So we've got some of their buildings here. So let's just kind of place these around in a village layout and just have this guy be just wreaking havoc in the center square there to cause one of the village raids, which we can see right there. Okay, so pretty happy with how that looked. Let's now move this around and see what we can do with this other side right here. Again, we still have a lot more sets to go. Let me see what we can do about this layout right here. So now I think it's a good time to introduce maybe some of the style of living and just modern farming type stuff that could pretty much fit perfectly well with this sort of area. So let me see. We've got a few of the large scale animals which are specifically built to resemble the farms that people will use to actually demarcate certain animals. Like we have a sheep wool farm and a chicken farm here, and there should be a pig one as well. So I think we can kind of get into that stuff. Let's put this house here. Feels like you can kind of just go along the street to this house. Let's see. I wanted to put the modern house besides the larger tree house. So let's first surround the main house with some of the animal aesthetic inspired buildings here. So this is the chicken coop and the sheep farm. I think there's some water here, so we can make it seem like the water is flowing together. This seems like it works out well. Maybe we can cause to integrate some of the river elements on this piece right here. Maybe make that sit there, or just have the builds like this. I think having them face each other is a pretty neat and fun little trick that you can do here. Okay, so pretty happy with that. Let's see, what else have we got? A little bit with a creeper there to kind of fill in some gaps. Again, some more pillager inspired builds here, which does fit in with the village aesthetic. And we have a bit of a training grounds area as well. So let's kind of just put that, that could fit like right here. I think that fits in pretty well to kind of add some depth and world building here. Bit of a panda farm as well. I do want to link up the water elements. So let's kind of have the water also be connected to this area. Let's actually move that, put that in here, put that there. There we go. Okay, that works. Set the end portal to the side. I think the end portal will be the final destination of the journey here. So I'm gonna set this over to the side and just move in some of these standard cave-like elements here. Again, there's some water here that I just want to take advantage of in terms of having a shared water spot, kind of a pool or lake in the center there. So we're gonna line that up here. And maybe it's a good time to introduce some of the mushroom islands, which are, again, specifically water focused. Let's see, can we integrate some of the buildings here? That works perfectly. Amazing. Okay, like that. There we go. Okay, perfect. And we have some more water areas, so let's kind of make this the beachside area with the pirate ship, which I think works out pretty well. So we've got the pirate ship right here. So there we go. That's kind of the whole water area. And I think I thought of a good way to introduce the icy biome, because the ice biomes are surrounded by water. So let's just try to integrate some of those right here. Going to put this right in there and get our other igloo. Lego actually made 2 of these ones. Set these aside and put this in right there. Okay, perfect. All right. So we have a bit of a biome grid setup like so. I'm pretty proud of how that one actually turned out. You can really see the water inspired there, and we're going to be going through this entire thing later on, so definitely it will become a lot more clear, hopefully, by the time we actually go through everything. But now I think it's time to introduce some of maybe the more modern style of elements with the houses as well as the farm stuff. So before we get into that, I want to specifically attach one of the caves here. So we got one of the other caves, but we have another one. This is one of the first ones. Let's just kind of, there's some more water in that cave. So let's just kind of put that, maybe we can put it here. Not too convinced with this placement. Let me see, what is the best place to put this? That's interesting. Yeah, how are we gonna do this? Maybe here. Maybe here I think feels fine. Yeah, this feels pretty happy to me. Let's now take some of the farm elements. So we've got one of the farms here, and this actually is perfect because there's some water elements to the cave, so we can have the water be flowing into the farm here. And we also have a piggy house. This is a house right here with a bit of a waterfront at the front. So maybe if we just move this to the side, put the pig house here, so you actually have the water flowing in. Does that fit? Not really. Can we? No, that's good as it is. Let me think. Let me think here. Maybe we move this to the side, put this in here instead, and then we can have this flowing into it and the farm attached on here. Maybe. Let's see how that looks. It's okay. I think it could be better. What if we got rid of this, put this here, and set it up like this, which now has a pool of water that everything is kind of gathering in, as well as just some other spots for the villagers to sit. I think that's probably the best configuration I'm going to get at this point. So let's move on to something else, because this is already getting, this just pushed us out, didn't it? This pushed out this whole base. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's not too bad, actually. That's not too bad. If I close this up, yeah, that's okay. Okay, problem solved. We're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine here. There's no problem at all. Perfect. There we go. Okay, so what else do we have? Yeah, it really just seems like some of the more modern stuff left. So we're going to take the modern waterfall base here, and we're going to actually set this aside as its own separate thing here. So this is pretty interesting. I don't know why there's a zombie with a shovel right there, but okay, we've got this right here. I think it's good to kind of set this aside to demarcate this land barrier. And I wanted to take the modern treehouse and specifically put that alongside the more modern waterfall base as well. So let's try to take this larger build and put it right here. Oh, that's perfect. There we go. Okay. Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay, perfect, perfect. And here we have a bit of a base over there. Move some of this to the side. I don't remember where some of this stuff goes. And all right, so we are almost done. The only thing that kind of doesn't really fit in here is the ocean monument, because that specifically is supposed to be underwater. I guess maybe we can pretend like someone drained it and now it's just a temple sitting on land. I don't know, that kind of fits in here with the rest of the ocean theme stuff, but it's a little bit of a stretch, I will admit that. Down here we also have a coral reef build, which is an amazing build that also kind of feels a little bit out of place here. However, there's a perfect spot for it. Literally, it fits in perfectly like a jigsaw puzzle right in here. So I am not complaining about that. We're gonna fit that in right there like a jigsaw puzzle. Look at how well that piece fits in. Very, very nice how that particular element fit in right here, and there we go. So let's put the dolphin in the middle. Got a treasure chest in there as well. Okay, so we are almost nearing the conclusion here. We have one of these sky towers. Let's just kind of put that here because it is on a white cloudy base. I think that fits fairly well. Get some of the other land pieces there. All right, what else? Oh, the farmland areas. Okay, so we've got two of the farm areas here. I kind of forgot about, the Iron Fleet here. Okay, so farmhouses, I think it's perfectly fine to just put them right here. Oh, that actually works really well. It's not even really a compromise. That just works totally well in general. And can we put the other one? If there's somewhere I can put the other smaller piece of the stables here alongside the farmhouse, maybe just on the back. Yeah, I think this works out pretty well. Okay, problem solved. Okay, finally, let's now go to the end because that is basically the last thing we have to do here. We have our end portal. Let me just kind of zoom out here so you can sort of see where the layout is going in particular. We've got the layout here, and now we can have it loop back around to where we started, back to here, which is nice. There's also a lot of snowy aspects here. So this is pretty perfect because it connects right to the snowy biomes. We can have that connect right there. And this is our portal to the end. Perfect. So I'm just going to put the end stuff right behind there. And we're actually going to act like there's a loop here. So you start here, go all the way through here, and make it way to the back. So that's actually a really cool setup. I really like how that works out. Let's grab this here. Please don't fall over. And for whatever reason, now 2 Ender Dragons have taken over the end, because why not? It's Lego, so now there's 2 of them. Maybe they're fighting each other. Maybe they're trying to assert dominance here. So maybe when you get there, you don't even have to fight them at all. They're just going to try to fight each other. But yep, here we have them facing each other. And there we have it. That is most of the Minecraft stuff, besides just a few things for the Minecraft action game that actually isn't related to the core game, but we'll just kind of scatter those here and there as well, because they just generally work as good fill-in scenery bits. So let's kind of put that there maybe by the jungle part. We have some other bits and pieces here of different minifigures and different outfits and whatnot, using their weapons and all sorts of different tools on this particular area here. So let's just kind of get that set up. We have a TNT cannon. I don't know, you can have that set up right there, just filling in some gaps here. Random Enderman is standing right there. Random cave spider. I don't know where we're going to put him. All right, let's just put him somewhere there. That works, I guess. Nothing too special going on with this one. And yeah, that's really, honestly, that basically sums it up. We almost have every single set managed to be fit inside this massive diorama. Very exciting, because this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but wasn't really sure exactly where to put everything together or if it would actually look good together. But honestly, I'm pretty impressed by how all this looks together. Let's just set aside some of the boss fight creatures here, and voila, we are good to go. Almost, once we put this down. Okay, all right, I am very excited because now is the moment of truth. Let's see if we can track the journey of one single minifigure across this entire diorama. Okay, so now it's time to track the journey of a minecart or a Minecraft player all throughout the entire diorama we have built here. From the entrance of the Minecraft rails, all the way through the Nether, onto the next part of the overworld, the jungle, the village area over here, the desert, and then up to these snowy areas, to the end portal, and finally to the end. So let's see how that all looks. I'm quite excited to see how this all comes together in general. So first of all, let's just take our boy Steve here. Kind of like a standard traditional one to get for this kind of build. And actually, we're going to start him off here. It actually does have an elevator, so you can bring him down, or you can bring him up, get him started on his journey, so he is all the way up and ready to go. So let's now move him down and just kind of move him along the tracks. And he will encounter some minecarts on the way, and we'll have to push them out of the way because we are just following him. So you move the minecart down the track here, and let's just get rid of this for now. Man, I would have loved this as a kid. I mean, I'm loving it right now, but as a kid, I would have gone crazy to have something like this. And moving around to the back here, we now get into the main section. So we could, of course, have him go back up the elevator. You can see the empty spot right there is where the elevator docked. But instead, let's have him move onwards to our next official set. So let's turn our boy right here and continue the cartway onto the next portion, going through the mountain cave here. Going all the way through All right, so going all the way through, going past back around the mountain cave set, and then we go to the 2014 mine set. So this was the very first standard Minecraft mine we ever got, and to this day it's still one of the largest ones. So we can have him go up the ramp, but to be honest, there's not really anything he can do up there because this track doesn't really lead anywhere. I guess he could just go up, park his car here, do some mining around the mine, fight some zombies, spiders, whatnot, and then turn his cart around and head all the way back down. So let's now move down the track here. This is kind of on the base of the cart system, getting the other cart out of the way. Let's now go through this bottom piece here. We have him now rounding the curves here, and thanks to the Nether Railway set, we were able to introduce the curved element at a very crucial point. The curved element right there for the railroad track. So let's get our guy all the way through here. Make the curve around, and now we've made it to one of the more modern sets, the creeper mine. So he could stop here, do some mining, wait for some of the pieces to kind of fall down the mechanism here, or back up, and we're ready to go out the front. So bringing him out to the front here, he now emerges from the creeper mine, and we can get him to go through the custom railway here. Oh, let's get this out of the way first. So underneath the archway here, oh, he's kind of hitting. This is not built too well. You can't actually get the guy in there if he's holding a sword. That's unfortunate. So put your sword down, Steve. Okay, now you're gonna barely fit through. Oh man, this is a... Is there something catching here? No. I feel like, honestly, that's kind of an oversight. I feel like it's kind of dumb to make a minecart railway set and not allow you to pass your figures through the railway. So let's just pretend he goes through here. I mean, the empty minecart can, but that's no fun. Set our guy back here, and now finally we can actually go to some of the other sets that actually have the railways built in, so hopefully it won't be that big of a problem. Up here we have a Nether Portal. So after he passes some of the village area, this is kind of one of the newer sandy biomes with the llamas and the traders right here, so stocks up on some gear here. Let's now go through the portal. Now we have made it into the Nether itself, and this actually is a pretty cool loop. So let me just get his sword reattached here so it doesn't keep on falling off. And now, if he wants to, he can go up here, and can he please go underneath the... Okay, so I guess he does. Okay, so he does fit. We're just going to remove the sword for now. Makes it up to here-ish. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but we made it through. Okay, goes around the track here, goes all the way down, and down here, so he could have just gone the easy way and just looped around this way, but hey, this is more fun. So, set aside this one. Let's continue our journey. And right here is where our journey ends. And notice that this railway actually has a fun feature where as you ride along here, the slime is going to, or the magma block is going to jump up and down. So that's just a fun feature to have for the railway. But now we are done. So let's remove our guy and have him kind of journey through the rest of the world. So come on, Steve, let's get your sword here and bring you through the rest of the entire village. So first of all, now we are in the Nether, so we have to be very cautious. There's lots of enemies around in the Nether, like this large-scale magma cube hopping up and down. I think they'll definitely pose a threat to Steve. Get those out of the way. And let's just kind of ignore the Wither. I don't think we're going to be beating him today. So get across here, go across this bridge here, go through some ghasts, and then we make it to this next level. We have to fight some blazes next. This one has a fun play feature where you twist it, and the blaze itself will spin, so maybe we can enact some battles with our Steve figure here. But honestly, I think we've seen enough of the Nether. There's enough stuff that we've seen here, so now let's just kind of fight our way through here, say hi to our companions, and make our way through the next portal. The way that this portal works is actually a completely different mechanism, so let's kind of get our guy all set up to exit the Nether. You can actually see this play feature involves a ruined portal, where you kind of have to put on the right amount of pieces because this is supposed to be a ruined portal. You have the portal be fully completed here with the right number of obsidian blocks that I've mined. We can make it back to the surface, put the portal up here, activates the portal, go all the way through, and maybe by then we'll have upgraded to netherite armor. So now we have some netherite to actually go ahead and continue on our journey, so let's do just that. And now we've made it to the swamp. So first off, we have a witch's hut with a witch to fight, so we can take a boat to the hut, get the treasure from there. Now we can go all the way through from the swamp to the jungle treehouse here. Be careful of the jungle abomination from one of the games. You can see the jungle treehouse right here. So we can do some rest here, kind of stock up on some tools, rest in the bed, save our save point here. So there you go. Now we're on the bottom and we've made it to some of the desert biomes. Be careful of some of the exploding sand pieces. There's a bit of a desert outpost here, which we can again stay in to stock up for the player. And we can move on from the outpost, which also has a bit of a boat area too. As you can see here, there's a launching off point for a boat for a player to go in the water, but let's just start off here, and now we've made it to the first part of the village. Here we have our desert village here. It's kind of under siege by some pillagers. I guess we'll have to fight them off first before continuing onwards. So let's get our guy here, move him alongside the village here. Wow, this is I have not played with Lego like this for a long time. This is a lot of fun. So get our guy around here, and now we've made it to the main village. So the village here is actually a much more massive expansion than you may seem, because you can actually go inside the fortress to stock up on supplies here. So let's get some supplies here, do some trading over here, and we can move on to another gatehouse fortress right there in the back, which is just directly connected here, surrounded by a bit of a river or moat. Now we've made it to the back here. You can observe some villagers doing some bee farming. There's another player in a fully kitted out elytra here as well. So that's kind of a nice detail to have. Clearly this player has already been to the end. So let's keep moving here. Can't be outdone by other players in this world. And oh no, we've ran into some pillagers. So after we fight these pillagers off in their little hut here where they've imprisoned an iron golem, we can now continue onwards our journey to a more peaceful area. Here we have some of the large-scale animal-themed farms, from a chicken to sheep to a pig. All of these large-scale animals are really just for us to restock. Moving onwards, now we have some more of the wilderness sections. Over here we have a lot of the cave sections, just kind of the random cave sets that Lego likes to do with Lego Minecraft. They go Minecraft to do a standard cave-like set here. Honestly, it's really even hard to tell the sets apart. In this particular area, they're really all blending together, which again is one of the strengths of Lego Minecraft. Look at how well all of these sets blend together, and it's really hard to tell where one set finishes and another set begins, which again adds credence to the whole modular aspect of Minecraft building. But now we've got our guy, let's kind of have him continue to go on through. And look at that, we have discovered a shipwreck here with probably some hidden treasure. This is kind of washed up on the shore, but we can go in, take a look inside, and continue on to some of the mushroom islands as well. From there, the ice starts to form and the water turns to snow. Here we have two of the different snowy igloos. Thankfully, we have a snow golem protecting us on an igloo here, and some polar bears as well for one of the newer ones. Let's rest up at one of these sky towers. You can see another player with a full elytra who's already been to the end. And speaking of, we should start getting there pretty soon. Take a slight detour at the ocean monument, fight off some of the guardians, until finally we are ready to make our journey to the end. And so here we are at the portal to the end. After placing in all of the ender pearls and all of the different eyes of enders, we can now switch this over from the end portal location, jump right in, and use this slider right here to transport ourselves to the end dimension. And so, going into the portal, we have now made it to the end, where I don't know why, but there's two different end dragons. Someone's been fooling around with spawn commands, I guess, but here are the two different Lego Minecraft end-related sets. I'm actually kind of shocked that we haven't gotten any other ones. We got just one in 2014 for the first Minecraft wave, and then another smaller one for the Ender Dragon as well, but nothing actually focusing on the brand new end expansions, or the slightly newer end expansions, so that is a surprise. But let's say we defeat the dragons, now we can start all the way back at the beginning again and continue our journey from the start. And that was this massive exercise in combining Minecraft sets. As you can see here, this forms a very impressive layout. It's one of the largest layouts I've done in Lego, and it's really just made by combining different bits and pieces of sets together. One thing you may have also noticed in the video is that this took basically no rebuilding of any set, other than having to take apart some of the railway tracks at the initial part here to actually make a cohesive track, particularly in this section here that just needed a much longer track on this platform. Everything else basically just stayed the same, and it's really a testament to how well the Minecraft sets are designed by looking at this and seeing that it feels like a full-on diorama. I can clearly see that different bits and pieces are meant to fit within the same aesthetic, like for instance the farms all kind of have the same style. We've got a few different farms here and there. There's multiple different animal focused sets, which again lend credence to this farm-like building, and all in all this is just a really fun diorama where you can clearly see the delineation between different biomes. From the swamp or jungle here, to the desert biome here, to more of these standard plains villages,
to the water-themed biomes, as well as leading into the ice biomes here. Again, some more underwater stuff all the way to the end. And of course, as we move all around here, it's a really clear transition between here and the Nether because LEGO's released 2 different portal sets.
Our first dual function portal and railway was right here, which was extremely convenient to transition the tracks from the overworld to the Nether. And then at the end here, we have our second portal,
which gives us the ability to actually integrate this whole on Nether section into the whole diorama itself, while not feeling necessarily out of place or not really understanding how one player gets one place or another. All in all, this is a really fun exercise. I really enjoyed putting all of these sets together, and again, I do not really often get to play with my Lego a ton, so this was just really fun. It was just honestly kind of fun imagining these scenarios that a minifigure would get up to when traveling from point A to point B to point C and finally to point D and back to A again. I would highly recommend playing around with these if you have even just 2 Minecraft sets. You can easily combine them. More than one Minecraft set is more fun, and obviously, as you can see here, I had a lot of fun putting these together, and I truly feel like the Minecraft line is extremely underrated for LEGO sets, especially because a lot of AFOLs, and myself included, typically tend to disregard them as just some random stuff for kids to play with, but this was really fun, and very satisfying to put it all together. In one day in the future, if I ever have the chance to make a LEGO-like museum, I absolutely will be putting this exact diorama or a massive Minecraft diorama for LEGO in that much larger space. I really wish that I honestly just had the space to leave this out and display it because it's just a really cool thing to have on display.
Unfortunately, my one major display space is taken up by this massive underwater mock, which I can't really do anything about, but I'm hoping one day, maybe if I had some sort of a LEGO museum, it would just be so cool to have a full table. But for now, I'm gonna have to disassemble them and put them back into those empty spaces in the drawers, which is unfortunate, but hey, this was a really fun exercise, and I'd love to hear what you think of this massive diorama.
So that was fun. I'm gonna say this right now, hot take incoming. Minecraft is the original fantasy location-based action theme that AFOLs have been asking for years. It's been right here in front of all of us, and we have not been paying attention to it. And I, for one, am certainly much more appreciative of the LEGO Minecraft line after putting all these sets together. It's just super fun to kind of just feel like a kid again, tracking the journey of a single minifigure across this massive world, and I can't wait to add in the 2022 sets because there's still a lot more you can do with them. Speaking of them, let's just take a look at some of them right now. I've got the January 1st, 2022 sets at a completely different location. Let's see how those ones compare as well. And I'm sure that there's a lot of great areas that I could actually plug them into this particular build that would really fit in.
Alright, so we're back at my apartment. Here are some of the 2022 first half of the year LEGO Minecraft sets. Obviously there's going to be more coming out later this year, but at the time of this recording, these are just the newer ones that have been released. You can see that they had a bit of an animal focus with the 2 different animal lodges, as well as a ninja theme with the monastery there. I really do love the large scale animals, so I'm glad that they're continuing them as LEGO sets. And we also have a bit of a mushroom nod, which we haven't gotten mushrooms in quite a while, so it's nice to see. I can already imagine these sets fitting perfectly in the diorama, especially the underwater stuff and the animal stuff, so let's just get back to there and take a look now.
Alright, so with that, we have summed up this pretty fun journey taking a look at many of the different Minecraft sets, putting them all together in a diorama, and it makes me, again, really appreciate LEGO Minecraft as a theme. I really truly feel like this is probably one of the most innovative action and adventure fantasy location-based theme we've ever gotten from LEGO. In the modern time when we typically just get maybe 1 or 2 location sets per wave for some of LEGO's original themes, like for instance Ninjago and Monkey Kid, despite being really good themes, are typically just focused on, say, a ton of vehicles and mechs and planes, and maybe if we're lucky we'll get a temple or a city or a location-based set here and there, which are always fantastic, but always just stand alone as well. These are not only location-based as sets, almost every single set by its nature has to be a different location, but they're fully modular, so you can put them all together, they look really good together, and again, when you have them all together here, it's really hard to tell where the delineations between sets are. Sure, for some it's more obvious than others. I think some of them, like the Ocean Monument, stick out like a sore thumb, and being the closest thing to what would be kind of a standard LEGO temple build in another theme. But honestly, a lot of this other stuff, like different expansion packs to the farm, or the village, or different kind of animal farms over here, just all sorts of really great stuff, you can't even tell where one set begins and another set ends. So So happy about this theme. I, again, really appreciate it after putting this all together, and I do hope that maybe this may have changed some of your minds as well. If you've been on the fence about Lego Minecraft, if maybe you played Minecraft as a kid but don't really play it anymore, or even if you've never played the game, if you can get behind the style and aesthetics of this theme, you can make amazing dioramas just by buying multiples of the official sets. That's all I have to say with this video. I just kind of wanted to put this together. I basically just documented a play session, which I haven't had in literally years, so this was a really cathartic experience. Really enjoyed it. And let me know in the comments below, have you ever done this with your own Minecraft sets? What do you think of Lego Minecraft as a theme? Do you agree or disagree with the thoughts I shared in this video? Of course, let me know, and I hope you enjoyed this. Definitely subscribe to Duckbricks for even more Lego news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Thanks so much, and bye-bye for now.